Hey guys, so somebody asked me, should a programmer, developer go work for a startup? My quick answer is, why not? Now, you have to understand, startup culture is very, very different from working for an established business that has a business model, has a stream of income. The startup culture is going to be much more dynamic typically. It's going to be longer hours typically. It's going to be a little bit more hectic. And you're probably going to get paid a little bit less than you would if you were working for an established business. Those downsides aside, the big advantage of working for a startup is that you're going to see how a startup operates. You're going to see how a young business with a not necessarily a very clear business model or a profitable business model, how they operate. It's much closer to being an entrepreneur than you would be for sure if you were working for a large company. So it would be a very good learning lesson in terms of the business end of software development, if you will, and just seeing how businesses evolve. When you go work for a very large, established organization, you're not going to see any of that because you're going to be siloed in a particular area, and you're going to be 2-3 steps away, if you will, from the business end of the business. You won't see the reality, boots on the ground, rubber to the pavement, whatever other analogy or cliche you want to use. You're going to be detached from the real world of business when you go work for an established company, especially big ones. You see that a lot. The larger the organizations, whether it be huge companies or a government body, the larger they are, the more detached the employees are from the actual business implications in terms of the profitability of what they're doing or the efficiency of what they're doing. That's why larger organizations are less efficient by nature, because people are detached from the end result or the end product. That's a very important thing. That's why when Steve Jobs came back into Apple and took over Apple, he took his design team and he siloed them off. He basically separated them from the main infrastructure of Apple, because he knew that if this design team was within the main infrastructure of Apple, nothing would get done. So he set them apart in their own area where they didn't have to respond to the hierarchy that they would normally have to deal with. That's why they were able to produce some really good products design-wise back when Steve Jobs was still alive. Now, again, if you hate Apple, you got to leave that aside. The fact of the matter is they're the biggest company in the world for a reason. So going to work for a startup has a lot of benefits. The reality of the situation is that for every startup that becomes this big success where you can make a lot of money, yes, if you're one of the first employees in a startup, there's a lot of potential. There is a potential, rather, that you can make a lot of money with stock options and so on if they go public. But that's a rare event. That's a rare event. Most startups fail. In fact, as far as I understand, the VCs, they expect most of them to fail. They expect, I think, 80-90% of them to fail. So keep that in mind. So yeah, if you're young especially, going to work for a startup for 1 or 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is, it could be very good for you. It could be very good for you. Good learning experience, not only in terms of the technical, because younger startups will likely be looking at leveraging more cutting-edge technology. They're more likely to do that than an established business. So that is also another consideration. You go work for a startup, you are more likely to get your hands into some more cutting-edge stuff, whereas if you go work for established business, less likely because they're established. And also, you're going to get a closer look at how the startup works and how business works and the ups and downs, because there will be ups and downs. Anyhow, so yeah, why not do it? Good learning lesson. Finally, soon, one of my former students, one of the Studio Web students, in fact, he went on to start up his own company. He's a co-founder, and his company just got a pretty good investment and with Google, of all people, of all companies, and some big announcements coming out in terms of his company partnering with Google. So he's supposed to come in and do a little talk. We'll do a little chat and we'll talk about startup life and so on. So there you go. All right, that's it for today. Bye-bye.